I wanted to talk to you today about Warrior One and perhaps give you a little bit more of an insight into the pose and how you might find a bit more stability there and a bit more sweetness. So I always give the cue when we come into the shape of directing the hips and the heart forward. Now, we, in theory, have a little bit of an angle in the back foot. And I should set this up initially by saying, obviously, the more square and shallow your stance, the more stability you're going to have in the pose. Once we start getting long and lean, of course, the body's going to be more challenged to stay stable. I like to take it around about there for me, but see what shape works better for you, whether you're more square or more long and lean. Now, with the back foot, if you, just for the point of the exercise, direct both feet forward for the minute, that allows us then to direct the hips and the heart forward really easily, of course. The more we take an angle in that back foot, the more we're going to be following our torso around into a bit of a twist. So because Warrior One shapes are directed forward down the mat, let's start with both feet facing forward. Keep a sense of evenness in the hip bones facing the top end of the mat, the short end of the mat. And then you might just externally rotate that back foot open a little. Not much, just to be able to still keep the pelvis facing forwards. Then just notice what's going on with your knee. Is there any weirdness going on in that knee? If you're feeling weirdness there, let's indeed bring that foot back to how it was a minute ago, facing directly forward. You can do all your Warrior One shapes with both feet facing forward. Nobody is going to come banging on your door and give you a hard time about that, I promise. If you find that having an angle in the back foot is feeling okay for you and that you're not experiencing weirdness in that knee and undue stress, and then when we come into those shapes, we're keeping that back leg engaged. We're keeping the knee in a safe position for the movement. And the other thing I wanted to mention too is when we do bend the forward knee as we come into the shapes. Now, it's possible that the knee will travel beyond the ankle. It's possible your knee will travel not so far. In a perfect world, when we're stacking the knee directly over the ankle, we're getting a lot of strength. We're running through that lovely strong bone in the leg to protect the knee and to hold it in a stable position. So that's just another thing to be aware of. When you come into the shape, however your arms are positioned, let's aim to have knee over ankle rather than really leaning into it and extending the knee beyond that point, where you'll immediately notice, if you're doing this with me, you're sensing all sorts of instability in both the knee and probably in the hip as well. So just being mindful, whatever we're doing with our arms, we're aiming for knee over ankle. So it's all about just being present in what you're doing and being mindful of how your body is feeling, where instability is making itself felt, and tuning into that. And that is the practice of yoga, of noticing, of being present with what we're doing as we're doing it, and being kind to ourselves at the same time, making those little adjustments to make sure that you're stable, comfortable, and in that sense of sweetness when you're moving.